We will start there on episode 146 with the great Chris Egan here on pucksports.com. He's always brought to you by Fat Zach's Pizza. 3 great locations: Sumner, downtown Puyallup, South Hill, home of the original No Big Dill Pickle Pizza. Voted Best of the Sound 2 years in a row for Best Pizza. Find them on Facebook, Instagram, and, of course, fatzachspizza.com. They also book 3 of their food trucks for catering, birthday parties, graduations, and corporate events. So what's the countdown to Paris now? And the wife wants you to clean up your look a little bit.
Well, I think she just wants me to take my game up a little bit, were her exact words. I think Puck, she loves the podcast. She's listened to pucksports.com a lot, which says a lot, because this is somebody that usually is listening to health podcast, facial podcast, but now she's loving pucksports.com. But she said, you know what, Chris, you need to take your podcast game up a little bit and get rid of the dangly cord and go out and get yourself a good microphone, good headset. So
let pucksports.com help you. I'll buy you, and we'll write it off. Let me make the first purchase for pucksports.com to get you a microphone, because obviously you need it. Someone that's struggling financially like you with a full-size pickleball court in their backyard, you probably need the help.
Well, I like when my wife's and my brother will do this too once in a while, and it's just a nice subliminal way, like, okay, you got to step up your game. Like, my brother will be like, hey, good show last night on King 5. You got a new suit at all at home, or?
So you're going with the black suit one more time, huh? Yeah, because it's slimming. Leave me alone.
I like a nice black suit. No, 50 days, Puck. 50 days until the Summer Olympics in Paris.
You don't.
It's kind of go time right now for everybody. This is where it gets really intense, because it's the Olympic trials, and some would say the Olympic trials are just as tough as the Olympics. So you have the U.S. gymnastics trials coming up. We've got a young gal, Shilese Jones, trains at Auburn. She'll be in the mix to make the U.S. Olympic team. You have the swim trials coming up. There are 9 kids from the Pacific Northwest that will be at the swim trials, and this is kind of cool this year, Puck. They're going to be doing this in Indianapolis I think it is now the Lucas Oil Field, so they'll have the pool right in the middle of where the Colts play football.
It's just amazing. I can't believe they're doing that.
I talked to one young gal from Mercer Island, Piper Inge, who's going to be in the 100-meter breaststroke. And I said, how nervous is it before you go out there? Because only the top 2 in each event go to the Olympics. And she goes, there'll be about 14 girls in the waiting room for your event. 4 of them will probably be throwing up. Another 4 will act like they need to throw up. 4 of them will be green, and the other 4 will be shaking so much. It's just so much nerves when you think about it. They're
like rush week.
Yeah. And then she said it best. She said, it's going to come down to a fingernail, Chris. That will separate second and third. A fingernail. Could you imagine, Puck?
Do they have rules on how long your fingernails can be? They must, right?
Well, that's what I was thinking about. Why wouldn't you go with the extended fingernails if it comes down to a fingernail?
Remember, like FloJo? Remember FloJo back in the day?
Yeah.
How long her fingernails were? Why can't you get like Edward Scissorhands out there in the pool, and then you're like 15 feet away and you're touching the wall? There has to be some regulation,
especially with swimming.
I don't know, like when you're kind of cutting through there, it's kind of like a fin.
And
what if you just took some drugs to grow another fin, like a fin on your back?
Oh, that would, why not? See if you could do it. And then, Puck, we got some great news. Our favorite city, you and I, we love this great city of Cashmere, Washington. I got the call from Corey Van Lith, who is the father of Haley Van Lith, and he said, Chris, Haley is going to the Olympics, and I'm so excited for this young gal. This is somebody that came out of Cashmere High School, just one of the top recruits in the country. Went to Louisville, played well there. Things weren't great, just didn't have an eye-to-eye with her coach. Transfers to LSU. We all know what happened last year. They make it to the semifinals, and now she's going to TCU. She's found a great home there for her final year. But as she said, my dad has trained me my entire life pretty much to be a 3-on-3 basketball player. And now she will be competing in the 3-on-3 at the for Team USA in the Olympics. Cameron Brink from Portland, Oregon will be one of her teammates. So I'm so excited for this young lady. I think she needs next year at TCU to help her stock for the WNBA. But how about go to Paris and win a gold medal and represent applets and cotlets, represent Kashmir, represent
She's
the great state of
Rusty's.
Washington.
If she doesn't have a Rusty's patch on her jersey, if Rusty's, hey, Rusty's, get on board and start supporting the Olympic squad. Put some money. But I don't want to watch the Olympics this summer and hear any reference to applets and cotlets.
Okay, so when I'm doing the interview, Puck, I'm going to mention Rusty's. What do you get? Could you imagine if I do this?
How do you work that in?
Well, here it is right here. I think I got it. This is like the famous Larry Bird line. Where would you rather be? I'd rather be in French Lick, Indiana. I'm going to say to Haley, I'm like, you just won a gold medal, Haley. Where would you rather be? I'd rather be at Rusty's in Kashmir.
I'd rather be sitting down with a box of applets and cotlets. If she says that, I'm out.
You're done. Yeah. So
I'm done. And
I'm
excited
for her. Yeah.
The good thing is that when by the time she orders the Rusty's burger in Paris, when she flies back and gets there, it should be ready.
Maybe it depends. It depends if she goes with a double or a triple.
Oh, if you go the triple, have you ever seen? I had a buddy do the triple one time. Have you ever seen anyone take
not only have I seen the triple, Puck, but my son Austin Egan, who by the way having a great start with the Edmonton Riverhawks, and we'll be heading up to Canada, and we may be doing this podcast next week from Canada.
International waters, huh?
I'm going to be. It wouldn't be fun next week, the podcast with Oilers fans surrounding me as we do the podcast.
Well, it'd be fun if it was one particular Oilers fan with her top off.
Well, I've seen the tweet. I have seen the tweet.
My God,
a lot of Edmonton fans out there now. But Austin Egan went to a place in Puyallup called Out and About, not In and Out. Out and About Burgers. There's 2 locations on the South Hill of Puyallup. He ordered a quad. It's not on the menu, but they do serve it.
Off the menu, huh?
It's an off the menu. He went with the quad burger. That's 4 patties.
I know what quad means. God. Idiot.
That's 4 patties.
That's 4. Actually, thanks for telling me. I was unsure.
It looked like you didn't know what a quad was. I just want to make sure.
Hey, is the
there's your Instagram grab of the week, right?
Yeah, there's the grab of the week. And by the way, you're like your little Instagram reels are like the most popular. It's unbelievable.
Well, it's all the kids. The kids.
Your hot dog one the other day got like 8,000 views or something. For talking about. And by the way, I went to Costco this week. Yeah. And I think I'm going to go once a week now.
I mean, $1.50, right?
Just $1.50.
Yeah.
Hot dog. What I remember though in the past, maybe I missed it. Didn't they not have a condiment section like where I could get some onions?
They used to have a little roller thing, and the onions would come out. They got rid of it.
I don't know if I saw it. I don't think I saw it.
It's no longer there. They used to.
Okay, so they got rid of it.
They got rid of the onions. They got rid of the sauerkraut, and they got rid of the relish, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of people there. I mean, I just walked right in, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going over there.
It's fine. I've got my own. I've got my own seat now at the Puyallup Costco. It's reserved. Yeah,
Do you have it?
I do
Can
lunch
they make
meetings
a gift
there.
card? Can there be like a punch card? And like your 10th one's free?
Oh, I would love. I mean, I do these events, Chris. Here's Ruth Chris Steakhouse. I'm like, I mean, you got Costco. You got a Costco food card.
I would do it in a second. Okay, so I want to go back to Haley Van Lith in the 3-on-3.
Yeah,
this is in addition to like the normal basketball team, right? So there's going to be a 5-on-5 and then a 3-on-3.
They have the 5-on-5 team. They've announced the men's team, which is stacked with the best from the NBA. We even mentioned on a previous podcast, you got Josh Hawkinson from Shoreline, the former Coug. He'll be playing for Japan.
Right.
And the women's team has not been announced yet, but more than likely you'll see Jewel Lloyd from Seattle will be on that team.
Sure.
I think the big question mark right now, Puck, is if Caitlin Clark's going to be on that team. A lot of people think it's a no-brainer.
Will the rest of the WNBA players let her on since they all hate her?
And that's the question, because there's going to be somebody who's like, well, she doesn't deserve to be on it because this girl's on it. But I mean, if you have Caitlin, you need to have Caitlin Clark on the U.S. women's basketball team. I'm sorry, you do. It's must see TV.
Who runs your network now? Who runs NBC?
I don't know the name of it.
I think you should probably.
I probably should check that out. Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. Let's make. Ben, Scourvitz. So, hey, tell Scourvitz. Ben Scourvitz is going to get on a call with whoever runs the
U.S.
selection.
women's team. Yeah,
you're going to put her on the goddamn team.
Yeah. Hey, by the way,
or we won't show you.
Yeah,
anywhere.
I have a feeling she's on it. Mark Few, by the way, is one of the assistants.
He's on it too.
He's the assistant.
He
coach
made a transition, huh?
He's the assistant coach for the men's team. And then transitioning back to your question, they started 3-on-3 basketball in Tokyo at the Tokyo Games, and it was a huge success. Kelsey Plum was on the women's team that won. Okay. So what I love about this, talking to Haley.
Hey, can I circle back to something here for a second?
Yeah.
Why did you feel the need to mention that Mark Few is an assistant coach?
Well, I like to get all the locals on there. I want to make sure I don't miss out on any locals. It's like I'm ending the sportscast on King 5 on every night, and I just don't want emails in the morning. So this is literally, you'll see a sportscast where I go, "Hey, congrats to the UW rowing team takes home the national championship." By the way, good job, SPU. They took third. Western Washington won the girls, but you want
to fit it all in.
So I don't
get
have
an angry email from a parent.
He never mentions SPU. But with the 3-on-3 puck, which I love about this, there's no coaching. Once the games begin, it's not even like Spokane Hoop Fest where you've got the dad with the backwards hat and the backpack on that's coaching his kids. You don't have any of that going on. There's no coaching. So what's interesting is You've seen Corey Van Lith when Casimir played Kings. Corey likes to talk a little bit. FIBA will give you a warning if there's any signs of coaching going on. So I told Haley, what do you guys do with your dad? And she's like, well, my mom sits next to him. They got to keep him quiet at the 3-on-3 because even if dad says, Haley, pump fake, go left, that's a violation in the Olympics. And FIBA will go after the U.S. teams. I mean, they will.
Why on 3-on-3?
I have no idea.
Why did they decide that?
I have no idea. They just want the players to be the ones on the court deciding what they do out there. So the coaches actually sit in the stands. So they do have a coach that kind of guides them, but they sit in the stands. So it's going to be fun.
Do we have 3-on-3 for men too?
Yeah, we got Jimmer Fredette is on that team.
Oh, the Jimmer is on the team?
He is on the team.
Who else is on the team?
I am not, I knew you were going to follow up with that.
You are our Olympic guy. Come on.
I can't name you every roster spot right now.
U.S., well, you knew that Josh Hawkinson's on the Japan team.
Well, he's from Shorewood High School, They did name their team, though, so.
Okay, U.S. men's 3-on-3 team. I haven't heard of any of these guys except Jimmer Fredette. Who's Canyon Barry?
I think he grew up in Colorado Springs area. Just punch his bio.
You know what? He did. You're right.
Look at that.
He's 6'6", 215 from Colorado Springs. He's 30. Also, Kareem Maddox.
Oh, Kareem Maddox. I think he's a 12-time Spokane Hoop Fest champion.
Here's what I love about Kareem Maddox. So, for Canyon Barry, it's a picture of him holding a basketball. Same with Fredette. And then another guy named Dylan Travis. 6'3", 185. Okay, he's in a basketball uniform. Kareem Maddox looks like he's going to go on The Bachelor. He's in a suit posing like he's going to go on The Bachelor. So maybe,
Well, you never know what happens in Paris. Yeah, he's.
It's a real who. I'm going to tell you, this is a real who's who. But they do look. I'm going to tell you, they look like the
3-on-3
high school. Team. A 3-on-3 team that goes to Hoop Fest in Spokane and just dominates.
Yeah. And they're just a well-oiled machine, and they've got plays. And
they just shoot, just dropping bombs, And then they got to make sure that they clear out of the way for the angry dad who may be or may not be packing heat, running on to the cement to yell at an official who's not being paid but only being paid by free Subway sandwiches
and a t-shirt. Yeah, to this day, I love Hoop Fest. I want to go back to Hoop Fest every year.
Love it.
But I've never seen an array of more angry, upset parents in one area than at Hoop Fest. And you're basically playing you're playing for a t-shirt. And some parents treat this like full ride scholarships and a lifetime of success is on the line in these games, which is it's absolutely amazing.
Would you care to know anything about Kareem Maddox? He missed out on the Tokyo Games, has returned for another cycle for his first Olympics. He's led all players in block shots, led Team USA in rebounds at the 3-on-3 World Cup. He's played collegially at Princeton and a few years overseas. He's a former podcast producer.
Wow, here we go.
NPR host.
We got to get him on the show.
Yes, we do. He currently works part-time in the Timberwolves front office.
Well, why would he's got time then? He's obviously got some time to get on pucksports.com. So
and then Dylan Travis, formerly of a NCAA Division II national champion at Florida Southern. He joined the team in 2022. He's since paused his teaching career due to travel commitments required for 3-on-3. He's works as a special education teacher, basketball coach at a high school in Omaha.
There you go. Now we know the 3-on-3 teams for USA.
How many people do you think have fast forwarded past this portion of the show? I would say a great amount.
There's probably a small 3-on-3 fan base out there.
We're really big in the 3-on-3 community.
The Spokane Hoop Fest crowd is loving us right now. By the way, Puck, I see the Mariners hat on, and I have to ask you, because you and I have been watching this team since birth. We were at the Kingdome. We watched this team, and Puck, what we're seeing right now, it's historic in my mind. I've never seen and I go back to, I always say, let's go back to spring training, but I always think of that picture of the 5 pitchers, the starting pitchers out there together. I think it was day 4 of spring training, and all 5 of them are there, and expectations are so high with this group. And then Bryan Woo doesn't start out of spring training with the team, and you're kind of wondering, oh gosh, what's wrong with Woo? Is he going to be back? And right. I mean, 6-0, Bryan Woo, and here's where I think we take so many shots at the Mariners and their scouting department with hitting, but you can't give this organization enough credit for what they do with pitchers. Bryan Woo,
it's unbelievable.
Bryan Woo pitched 2 summers in the Alaska Summer League. I think he was pitching up in Kenai. When you look at his ERA at Cal Poly,
Sitka.
He was up in Sitka. I mean, and you look at his ERA in college, he's in the 7s and the 8s. It's like, what did they ever see from this guy? Like, why did they draft this guy? And then you look at their, Baseball America, their prospects, and all these pitchers that are coming up. It's like you start looking at their bios and resumes, and you're like, what's so good about these guys? Obviously, they see something. I'd love to do a more in-depth story and go out with the scouts and kind of see how they're tracking these guys, because they are absolutely turning some of the best pitchers around. And I love local stories. I love to see the fact that Austin Voth, the former Kentwood Conqueror, is back, and he's doing some good things right now. And Taylor Saucedo. It's fun, but we're in the middle of a historic ride. And yes, everybody can keep whining about hits and bats, but why not enjoy the pitching right now? Because it's absolutely phenomenal.
It is remarkable. It's almost like whatever they do for the pitching, why can't they do that for the hitting?
Yeah.
Like whatever their evaluation is. But you're right. I mean, this guy is unbelievable right now. Like what Bryan Woo is doing. I mean, you're right. It's historical because he's done something that, he has a better first 6 start to a season than Randy Johnson.
Than anyone. Yeah.
I mean, it's just. Yeah, it blows you away how damn good he is. And if he had more innings, the go-to guy, Jim Moore, is like already trying to put money down on him to win the American League Cy Young Award.
He's
not going to have enough innings to qualify, most likely.
He may get there, though, Puck. He may get there. I don't know what the inning count is for the Cy Young Award, but, if knock on wood, he stays healthy, I think he may get there innings count-wise. But it's just like all of a sudden he's done. Then you got Bryce Miller back on the mound. It's just like it's every night, and we
just have another guy.
Yeah, and we just
they're great at it.
Yeah, but it must be fun to go into the scouting report. And I don't think they have like a room scouts for pitchers, and on the right is scouts for hitters. But God, if you were the scouts going in for the hitters, you'd be like, hey, let's pick it up over there.
Hey, I got another Olympic question for
Uh-oh.
you. And again, remind our viewers and listeners, where are the Olympics at?
Paris.
Like
They're going to be in Paris this year, Puck. Great question. You can
no,
watch.
like what channel are they on? Or?
King 5 will be the home to the Paris Olympics, and Chris Egan will be the only media member from the entire Pacific Northwest. Heck, entire state of Washington, Oregon, and Idaho. Montana.
Are you sure about that? What if Como sneaks Nico over there like on a stowaway boat?
It's not happening. You can't even get credentials at this point, Puck. I mean, there's only one locked in credential from the Pacific Northwest. The PNW. I'll be representing with my Rainiers hat, my pucksports.com T-shirt on.
Oh, I got to get you something.
Yeah, I mean, I have to rep. And yes, it will be on King 5, 50 days away, Puck. And ask your question.
50 days away. So here's my question. I saw the note from Maria Taylor is going to be on the Team USA boat like every night doing live shots on a boat on the river. How do you get on that?
How
are you going to get on that?
I've put in an inquiry to jump on the boat, so I would love to get on there. So we'll see if we can do that. Yes, the opening ceremony, and let's be proper with our grammar, everybody listening to this podcast. It's not a ceremonies. It's not the opening ceremonies. It's opening ceremony, closing ceremony. You hear that in the news a lot, Puck. A lot of people say, hey, the opening ceremonies are coming up. No, it's not ceremonies. It's ceremony.
The opening ceremony.
It's just one.
Yeah, it just sounds weird. It's also like, it's Bartel. It's not Bartels.
Yeah, and everybody says Bartels, don't they?
But everybody says Bartels. Yeah. I lean into it. Okay.
But the opening ceremony, all the countries will be coming in on boats. And I always love the opening ceremony because I feel like it's the old days of like national. It's like the encyclopedia as these countries come in and the NBC hosts give you a little like, Brazil, and they give you a little.
It's Brazil.
Brazil, and so
Italia.
I love that stuff. The only thing I feel bad for some of the athletes I was talking to, a couple of them. Some of them have events the next day, so you have to kind of weigh: do I want to stand for 14 hours and then try to compete for a medal the next day, or do I go out there and have fun? So
you ever thought about doing a piece on all the sex that happens during the athletes' village? I mean, how would that go over at King 5?
Well, I think
I got a story for you. Coming up on tomorrow morning, Chris looks into the amount of threesomes in the athletic village.
I think I did not do the story, but I think the story was done during the Vancouver Games, the Winter Olympics.
Oh, it was.
Yes,
really?
Well. If you recall, and I believe you can look this up, but I think they ran out of condoms at the athletes' village in Vancouver. I think that was the headline. I mean, log on there, but I think the Vancouver Olympics. There was a headline like the athletes area.
I'll look it up.
Athletes area runs out of condoms. I believe that was
Vancouver Olympics runs out of condoms. Hold on.
I think that was one of the headlines one day up there.
God, I would love for you to write some script and then like Joyce and Wittenberg's got to read it. Vancouver medals in condom distribution, March 1st, 2010.
There you go.
Yeah, how about that?
There you go. Oh,
yeah, they ran out of it, huh?
Oh, Canada.
They doled out over the course of 17 days. The health agency in Vancouver doled out 100,000 condoms. Jesus, man. God. Some media outlets reported that the supply was strictly for Olympic and Paralympic athletes and officials, totaling about 6,500 people. That would suggest an average of at least 15 condoms per person and rampant sex of Olympic proportions.
Oh, man. Oh,
okay.
There you go. We're not making this stuff up.
Jesus, 100,000. Good Lord. Good gravy. Well, all right.
They've been training so hard for so long. And then when it's all over, Puck, you just...
Okay. I got a question for you.
Okay.
All right. Daughter is going to go what I think is like her first like high school party this weekend.
Okay.
She's like, oh, I got invited to this party. And I'm like, oh, what kind of party? Well, it's some gal's house. And she tells me the name. I'm like, I don't know who that is. Okay, fine. And I'm like just like you're hanging out or like party, like a high school party. Oh, like a high school party. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, are the parents there or what?
Good
Well,
question.
I don't know if they are. I'm like, okay. So it's either it's either one of two things. One, no parents at this house party that's happening. And then I was described the whole school's going to be there. And then number two, it could be one of those homes. And I don't know if you had this growing up. I had a couple buddies like this, where it was the parents did the whole, our homes open to if you want to come and hang out. If you're going to drink, we'd rather you drink under our
yeah. Oh
umbrella.
yeah. There's those parents are out there.
It could be one of those. Now, what caught me by surprise, I said, all right, well, what time are you heading over there? Well, I'm not going over there till 9:30. I'm like, Jesus, that seems a little late.
It is a little late, yeah.
Yeah, a little late. So what's the 15? You've been through this now twice. What was the first party like for both? And what was the curfew the first time?
Let's begin here, Puck. And we have those moments every podcast where it's earth-shattering parental guidance that I offer to everybody here. And as the parent of 3, successful daughter about to get married, another one playing baseball in Edmonton, I'm about to just blow your mind on this podcast with this advice here. This came from a teacher of mine. Now, growing up, my beautiful wife and I, Mel, was at Aylen Junior High, was at Edgemont. We both went to Puyallup. We thought, we were pretty popular kids. My daughter is a senior in high school, and she's popular. She's doing well, but I told my wife one night, I'm like, is she as popular as? I mean, it doesn't seem like she's got all the kids hanging out with her. And I went to a teacher, and I asked the teacher at Rogers High. I said, how's Maddie doing? Is she a popular kid? And the teacher, this still blows my mind to this day. The teacher says, your daughter is incredible. Your daughter is doing awesome. But Chris, times have changed, and I'm going to give you this piece of advice right here. You do not want your kid to be the most popular kid in high school. You no longer want your kid to be the most popular kid in high school. I said, why would you not want your kid to be the most popular kid in high school? He goes, Chris, you may have been back in the day, and people would come over to your house, and you'd play basketball, and your mom would make them chocolate shakes. Now, if you're the most popular kid, it means you're having alcohol and drug parties at your house every Friday and Saturday night. So you do not want to be that kid. And I'm like, it just blew my mind because I think of kids as like,
well, that was always the case. Like, what kind of square high school did you go to in Puyallup? Did you guys not have parties?
With shakes at my mom? Well, I think other people would. I think they'd leave the Egan house and maybe go party, and I would stay back.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying like I had
But
you're saying you didn't have the Barb is not having a bunch of 15, 30 people over there, and you're crushing rain.
No, we would never crush. No, Barb never.
But you went to. But she went to parties, right?
Well, one of the famous party scenes is we're driving home from a Puyallup basketball game where I played, and there's a road down from my parents' house where they were building new homes. It was called Whale Road. It became a big party road. And all these cars were going down there. My dad in his station wagon, wood panel station wagon, says, what the hell's going on down there? Let's go check this out. I'm like, oh, my God, Dad, no.
Please don't do it, Dad.
He literally took the station wagon into the middle of a gigantic Puyallup high school party. To this day, my brother still laughs at it because I am on the floor of the station wagon, so hoping that nobody can see me.
Fellas, what are you guys doing out here, huh?
100%. He rolls down the window and asks that. He gets the station wagon stuck, so there's literally kids from the Puyallup football team pushing the wagon out of the mud to get it out of there. It was an absolute nightmare. I still have to go through therapy, Puckett, to go over this. But to answer your question in the end, you have to trust your kids. Number one, you have to trust your kids, and you have to trust them to do what's right. We would always tell our kids, if you're going to go to a party, there's repercussions. Yeah. There's repercussions. Sure. If for some reason you get caught drinking or you're around drinks, maybe you're not drinking, and there's perception. There's always kids that are going to be jealous of you with your sports and stuff like that. You could be suspended from your team. So I just want you to be warned. If you're around it, nowadays people take pictures. There's Snapchats. There's Instagrams. Yeah. Be very careful out there. Number one, it's for us. We don't drink it. We don't use it. And please never get in a car of anybody that's ever going to do that stuff. At that point, call your parents. We'll come and pick you up. But to your curfew question, I think it's up to you and your daughter. You have to have trust. I would say.
I'm asking you, what do you think a 15-year-old?
I would say
the first party on the weekend. What do you think the curfew?
I'm going to go 12:30.
Wow,
12:30.
Okay.
Was that?
I was thinking.
Were you thinking?
10,
you thinking
10:30?
You were giving her an hour.
Hey, 1 hour. 1 hour. You do a circle around and you're out. No, I was like 11:30, probably midnight. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I would say
I
would say get home by 12:30. So maybe she goes there till midnight. You're giving her.
She was like, it's not far from where we're at, right? And she's like, well, if there's a group of girls, we'll walk home. I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I want you walking home at midnight on 15th Avenue.
Now another parental, must with Mel and I is when she gets there, I'm here, text. They're on their they're on their phones 24/7. If they can't text you this, then take the phone away. Text us when you're there. Text us when you're leaving. It's pretty simple.
And I told her this. I said, hey, listen, if you partake in whatever's being served there, I just said make sure you open it up yourself.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody hand you anything. Especially
100%.
Pimple-faced dork.
100%.
Hey, why don't you drink this?
Yeah.
No. Sounds good.
100%.
So did you ever, like when the kids went to a party, like when you waited for them to come home, did you go up to them, give them a big hug and just do the...
Oh, I would
a quick little sniff,
I would always, yes. And it was usually myself. My wife would be like, you're staying up for him, right? I'm like, yes, I'll stay up for him. Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
But did you have to do the sniff? Like, did we get a little on the breath?
I don't remember ever doing that because I think the older two, they were always pretty good. So I trusted them on that. So we'll see. The young one seems like he's a Boy Scout and, more of a ladies man, but those are the ones you got to keep an eye on. More of a ladies. That's the one you got to really keep an eye on right now. So Puckett, I wish you luck, my friend. Parenting. If anybody ever says on any podcast to you in your face, "Oh, it's so easy being a parent," they're lying. It's not. It's hard.
Well, and this is a new one, right?
Yeah,
this is like now you're getting into a whole nother level, right? There's a whole nother level of stress now that I'm going to be introduced to. Like this weekend.
Yeah. And then you have to start like looking at who the kids are they're hanging out with. Is that,
Sure.
and then, yes, you almost need to like not interview the parents they're going to, but like what is going on at that house? Like it's your kid. You need to know. I mean, we invest so much into them. If we're not going to invest on which party they're going to, then what are we doing?
But my parents didn't do that. They didn't go interview. Like, where are you going? I mean, I lied to my parents all the time where I was going. But
hey, Bob,
I know what I was doing at 15 and 16. It was terrible. It was awful.
And now you know what your daughter's going to be.
Oh, Jesus, please.
Good luck.
All right. Enjoy your weekend.
I'm willing to go to the party with you, and we could just kind of be on the outside.
I did ask my wife because it's not far. I'm like, hey, why don't we just you and I will grab a 6-pack. We'll just go like spy on it.
Like
what's wrong with you?
What are you, the parent from Footloose out in the wheat field listening to the dancing going on?
Just the binoculars. She's playing beer pong. God damn it, she's terrible at it.
They're dancing.
They're dancing. She's upside down. She's doing a keg stand, and then there's a little bit of a tear. Oh, this reminds me of my.
Do you guys have the tracker with your kids?
I mean, just the phone. I haven't. So I know. Yeah, we don't do what you do, where you embed the tracker into your kid's skin.
No, we don't have that. But you can tell. You can tell when they're driving, how fast they're driving.
Well, it's not driving yet, but yeah, she's on her location on her phone.
Yeah, a little locator. Yeah. You got that. Good.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Yeah, it's good to have that. I mean, my wife's a little too much onto it. I don't like get on there very much, but my wife's like, Austin's at the field, and I'm like, what are you on this thing like 24/7?
I don't have it personally on my phone. The wife has it.
I mean, I can't even get a Dick's Drive-In burger without my wife. Hey, you had a double last night, huh? I'm like,
yeah. I don't. That's too much information. That's spying.
And then when you turn it off, she's like, "What's going on? Your phone tracker's off." I'm like, "Oh my god." I gotta.
You're the best.
Oh, well done, Puck.
Okay. Okay, we'll talk to you next week. There he is, Chris Egan, brought to you by Fat Zach's Pizza. 3 locations, Sumner, downtown Puyallup, South Hill, home of the original No Big Deal Pickle Pizza. Also, book one of their 3 food trucks for catering, birthday parties, graduations, corporate events. Voted best of the Sound 2 years in a row for best pizza. Find them at Facebook, Instagram, Fat Zach's Pizza. Episode 146 with the great Chris Egan in the books. See ya.